Starting an online store doesn't have to be anything complicated. In today's conversation, I'm going to simplify the whole thing for you. I want to explain to you how to do things from A to Z and in a very simple way. Okay, it doesn't have to be complicated. As long as you have the right strategy and some of the best tools, you should be good to go. So here are the steps I really want you to pay attention to. Very first thing you need to do is to pick the right type of product to sell. Okay, it doesn't matter the kind of online store you want to build. You need to have there has to be synergy when it comes to the product you want to sell and what the market wants to buy. Okay, it's all about having synergy between demand and supply. You have to really think about that. Sometimes you want to sell. Let's say you want to sell products. You're very comfortable about a product. You're very passionate about the products, but the market is not there. This is kind of crazy. Like, you are just wasting your time actually like focusing on the wrong product, so to speak. And sometimes the product is not wrong because of the product itself. It's just that based on the niche or based on timing, it's not the right product. Okay, so cyclicality, seasonality, timing, those are important elements to pay attention to. Okay, so picking the right type of product to sell is absolutely essential to the success of your store. So spend some time. I want you to dwell on that a little bit. You want to brainstorm about the products you want to sell. Find a niche. Identify a product range that is not being sold by every online retailer out there, but for which there is enough demand to sustain an online business. There has to be demand. Okay. Now, finding a niche typically involves a lot of things. But most importantly, you need to perform something called keyword research. Okay, keyword research is quite essential here. By the way, welcome back to the show, boss. I really appreciate having you here. And in today's conversation, I'm just quickly talking to you about the strategies, the hacks you need to put in place to actually make your online store successful right off the bat. So using keyword research can help you a lot. Find a niche. You can use tools like SEMrush or Ahrefs, or you can just use Google. Don't try to complicate things. But the bottom line here is to make sure there is a reasonably strong level of demand and relatively few online stores selling the items that you want to sell. Okay, there has to be that synergy. There has to be that sort of what we call synchronicity, demand and supply synchronicity. It has to be there. Otherwise, you are going to waste your time, big time. Number two, I want you to really source your stock. Okay, like you can have a good product, okay, but you're not going to actually make the product yourself. You're not going to manufacture the product yourself. Okay, there are two main options available when it comes to sourcing stock. You can purchase the products from a supplier, store it and reselling it, or drop shipping. Let's first talk about the first option. So first option, purchasing the product from a supplier, storing it, and reselling it is kind of cool because you are able to view the quality of the stock firsthand. You can ensure it is produced ethically, and you can build up a good relationship with your supplier. So there is an element of chemistry there. Okay, that's important for some people and not that essential for others. Okay. And the disadvantage of this option is that you will need to invest cash in purchasing goods, which, if your business is not a success, you may never end up selling. So you may also face costs associated with storing your product somewhere. So making the right decisions about product inventory is crucial to the success of your online store. Remember that. Okay. So that's the first option. What about the second option here? So the second option is what I just mentioned earlier, drop shipping. So when you think about drop shipping, it's just, I'm not going to go in like details here, but basically it's just a fulfillment method where you don't keep what you're selling in stock. Okay. By the way, boss, let me quickly remind you of today's topic. I'm explaining to you how to make an online store that makes money right off the bat. So when we talk about dropshipping, basically what it is here is that you don't invest anything in storage, in shipping. You take the order, send it to a supplier, and they deliver the goods to your clients. Your store becomes, in effect, a middleman. Okay, with dropshipping, you might never meet or have direct dealings with your supplier, and you might never see the majority of goods you are selling online. The big advantage of this approach is that no upfront investment is required. But the downside is that dropshipping is a very competitive industry. You may end up selling products that are already being marketed aggressively by many existing online retailers. Why is it competitive? Because there are not a lot of entry barriers. Everybody can just get into this business. That's why. Like you can be somewhere in Toledo in the States and compete with somebody who is in Nigeria, somebody who's in Brazil, somebody who's in Vietnam, because again, entry barriers are kind of limited. Okay. And so most of the major e-commerce platforms offer add-ons or integrations that allow you to dropship goods produced from a wide range of suppliers. Popular apps include Deezers for Shopify and Spockets for BigCommerce. The third thing I want you to do here is to choose the right online store builder, aka e-commerce platform. Okay, so once you have identified your niche products and market, and you know where you are sourcing your stock from, it's time to think about getting your online store off the ground, right? Now you have two options here, always two options. You can hire an agency to build it for you, to build the online store for you, or you can use an e-commerce platform to build your store yourself. Okay, when you hire an agency, obviously there are budgetary consequences if you have the resources to hire an agency to do it for you. Okay. Now the thing is that a lot of folks don't have that sort of that luxury, because it is a luxury. A lot of folks don't have this luxury, so that's why they go with the second option, which is the SaaS, the software as a service option. Okay, so enter Wix, enter Shopify, enter BigCommerce, enter WooCommerce. Okay, those are players that actually are hosted services. They do everything for you. They just sell you. So you just make a payment every month, and that's it. One thing I need to show, I want to say here is that if you go down the agency route, make sure though that your developers are able to give you access to a content management system that lets you edit your site easily and manage your store's inventory yourself. This means that after your store has been built, you won't have to pay a developer on an ongoing basis to update its content or edit or remove products. You may still need to pay them to maintain your store in other ways, however. For example, to update plugins and themes, field general support queries, etc. Okay, so again, it's not very easy. So our preferences go with the second option, online store builder. Okay, Shopify, BigCommerce, Squarespace, Wix, and here you have a constellation of themes. You have templates, and so you can start right away. You can start faster. Okay, it's just that you have to commit to. You have to sort of have a budget for the price and everything else that comes with it, because you also have the price, but you have the ancillary costs such as the plugins and the necessary integrations also. So you got to think about that. The next thing I want you to do here is to optimize your online store for search engines. Okay, I mean you want to have a successful online store. Okay, but you gotta have you gotta have a way for the search engine, the almighty search engines, to actually draw traffic, to bring traffic to your store. Okay, and so this is vital for the success of any e-commerce project. It doesn't matter whether you're selling or you have a website, you have a blog. You need to draw traffic, because think about it. If nobody's really rating, nobody's visiting your website, it's like you are in a town and nobody knows you. Like you're in a city, nobody knows you, nobody visits you. I mean, it could be very lonely, right? So you want to really optimize a couple of I think real estate. Let me call it this way: pieces of real estate on your store, on your website. Things like page titles, product descriptions, headings, meta descriptions, URLs. Those are quintessential elements that will help you build a strong fulcrum for your website. Okay. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. What are we talking about? We're having a convo about how to make an online store successfully from the get-go. Okay. One thing I want to say here, when we talk about SEO is not just page titles, product. It's more than that. You need to make sure that your online store is fully accessible to those with a visual impairment. Not only would this help users with disabilities access your content more easily, it can bring SEO benefits too. Okay, the online store builders that I just mentioned earlier, they give you a lot of control over SEO, like BigCommerce, Shopify. I mean, in our view, when it comes to SEO, BigCommerce and Shopify have really done a great job in terms of beefing up their offer. Okay, so if that's important for you, please avail yourself of their services, okay? Especially BigCommerce and especially BigCommerce and Shopify. I mean, WooCommerce is doing a little bit too, but they haven't reached that level yet, okay? So make use of this functionality, and so you can beef up your SEO. Overall, SEO is really important. You need to drive traffic to your store, okay? You can actually, and there are a lot of ways to drive traffic to your store. I'll explain that in the next session, but you can do so. But when you do SEO, you're driving store traffic organically. Another option to drive traffic to your store, you can do so via blogging. Okay, now blogging is really important because the thing is, blogging is kind of organic too, but organic in the long run. It takes time. It takes time to rank for a keyword. It takes time to actually to let Google's algorithm know that you are producing good quality content. Okay, and but you need to blog regularly. The thing what we love to say here is that in our team, when we advise our clients, our business clients, we tell them you got to have the co strategy. You got to be consistent. You got to be content when you produce. Like, you have to be happy, and you have to be committed. Okay. So when we talk about blogging, this is not like a 3-month thing or a 6-month thing. It's a long-term thing, 5 years, 10 years, because ranking for a keyword, especially if the keyword is competitive, you're not going to rank for that keyword over 2 or 3 months. No, sometimes we advise our clients to actually go after those long tail keywords, which are a lot easier to rank for than the short tail one. Okay, so but you got to blog regularly. You got to blog regularly about topics related to what you are selling. Okay, this type of activity is basically known as inbound marketing, and if you don't engage in it, you are potentially missing out on a huge number of sales. Okay, so by posting high quality, keyword-rich blog posts related to your area of business, you are doing 2 things, okay? And those 2 things are quintessential. First, you are maximizing the chances of your site appearing in relevant search results, which should be your strategy anyway. This is pivotal. And second, you are showing that you are an authority on the area of business you are operating in, which, when you combine those 2 elements, you are really boosting your credibility index, and if your credibility index is high, people are going to buy from you. Okay, so potential buyers of your products, for example, they will have greater confidence in vendors who clearly have a passion for and understanding of all things relating to their goods. And this is what you need to have. You need to position yourself in such a way that potential customers, they see you as an authority. Okay, the word authority is really quintessential here. They see you as an authority in your field. Next thing I want you to do here is to use online ads to promote your store. Okay, now when we talk about ads, obviously there has to be a budgetary discussion. In other words, you got to have the money for it. And the question is, should you actually use ads or not when you are starting, like when you're fresh out of the oven? Well, our answer is a resounding yes. You want to start right away, but you got to have the budget. So if you have the budget, it's definitely worth running some e-commerce ads to promote your online store's products and put them in front of online shoppers. Okay, the starting point for most people with this involves Google ads and Facebook ads. And especially if you think about CPC campaigns, cost per click, it's really worth it. And especially if you are selling like let's say a high value items, it's really worth it to really invest in that. Okay, the bottom line here is that in terms of return on investment, it's really an interesting proposition. So Google Ads is kind of cool too, because using Google Ads involves identifying and paying for relevant search phrases that will display adverts for your store or products alongside organic Google search results. Okay, that's a CPC thing. It's also called the search engine marketing. And so Google Ads, in our view, those Google Ads campaign generally work well when you are selling relatively expensive products. Okay, that's what I just said before. So it's really a question of looking at your margins, trying out different keyword strategies, and so on to ensure that the cost of advertising doesn't eat into your profit too much. Okay, So, but used well, AdWords can help you sell a lot of products. What about Facebook ads? Same thing. The only thing is that Facebook ads work in a different way to AdWords. Instead of paying to display your ads to people who are entering keywords into a search engine, you are paying to display your ads to people who have told Facebook what they are interested in. Okay, for example, using Facebook ads, you can advertise Beatles a t-shirt to people who like the Beatles. Okay, Volkswagen key rings to people who drive Volkswagens, and so on. So this is kind of really cool. So Facebook ads are very powerful and let you target audiences to the nth degree, but use them incorrectly, and you could find your ad account disabled, with serious implications for your online business. So be very careful here. The last thing I want you to do here is to think strategically. Okay, the thing is, if you are trying to launch a successful online store, or even manage one at that, you got to be strategic in your thinking, in your execution, always. Okay, and so strategy in terms of starting your online store begins by choosing the right platform. I think I spoke about that I spoke about that earlier when I said it's important to either you want to outsource the production or the creation of that website to an agency, or you want to go with a SaaS option, software as a service. Okay, there's a third option, which is you can choose a platform such as GoDaddy Commerce, which allows you to create a very simple page, a very simple online store real quick, or you can use Ecwid. Ecwid is really good also when it comes to producing a very small, like a 1 page or 2 pages online store real fast. Okay, but if not, if you want something more, I would say more involved, you want something deeper, then you want to go with the likes such as Shopify, the likes of Shopify, BigCommerce, BigCartel, and Squarespace. Another option is to sell on an online marketplace like Amazon or Etsy, or to use WordPress in conjunction with a WooCommerce plugin. Okay, and so whether or not how much your online store will cost depends on your ambitions. Okay, it depends on whether you are happy to build your online store using a do-it-yourself platform like Shopify, or whether you want to involve a web developer. With the first option, you are typically looking at a monthly fee of between $29 to $299 per month, depending on your requirements. The simpler, the cheaper, of course. As for the second, this will depend on how experienced your developer is, but it would be wise to budget several $1,000s. Okay, and can you start an online store for free? Yes. You can start on the likes of Ecwid, BigCartel. Those are the two biggies that actually offer plans that allow you to sell a limited number of products without paying for a monthly plan. Okay, and so Ecwid and BigCartel. In terms of free, you also have GoDaddy Commerce to a certain extent. Okay, so if you were to ask us what's the best online store builder, it really depends again to a large degree on your requirements as an online merchant. Okay, but it really depends again also on how fast and how detailed, how granular you want your ultimate solution to be. But if you were to advise you, if you want something very simple, go with Squarespace. If you want something that is fully featured, go with BigCommerce and Shopify, and to a certain extent, WooCommerce. If you want something that's free, go with Ecwid, BigCartel. Same thing if you want something that's very light, go with Daddy Commerce, BigCartel, and Ecwid. So those are your options really. Or if you have the money, just hire a developer or an agency. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I'll just explain to you how to actually launch an online store real quick and successfully. So step number 1, pick the right type of product to sell. Number 2, source your stock. Number 3, choose the right online store builder. Number 4, optimize your online store for search engines. Number 5, drive traffic to your store via blogging. Number 6, you want to use online ads to promote your store. Number 7, you want to think strategically along the way. Thank you. God bless you. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.